Self-inquiry is one of the more tricky aspects of the realization process. I've seen it described in many different ways, and when described by someone who has entered that first gateless gate, it's always pretty obvious that what they're talking about is the real deal. And yet you can see the limitations of language, the limitations of how we actually describe what happened in that fundamental shift. And I'm no exception. I have pointed to this in many different ways, but I also see the limitations in language and the slipperiness of the relationship between thought and consciousness, or the relationship between seeking and identity. So I'll probably continue to offer new ways or various ways of pointing to this process. Today, I just want to make one distinction about how we approach self-inquiry. That is, that when we ask the question, who am I? Or what am I? Or even where am I? And then we begin to look or feel into where that question points, or intuit where that question points. This often leads to a certain kind of frustration or a twisting up of the mind or the mental process. Now, the distinction I want to make about this is that's exactly what's supposed to happen. If you ask the question, who am I, and you feel satisfied with thought answers or contemplating the possible ramifications of identity or you or personhood, or contemplating that, well, sure, I know who I am. I'm this and that. I'm this person with this memory and this experience. Or I'm a physical entity made out of protoplasm that has a brain, and the brain produces various neurotransmitters that create the illusion of consciousness. If you're contemplating these things in a comfortable way, then the spell is not broken. The dualistic mechanism of thinker and thought is fully in place. It's only when we discard these thought answers in earnest, meaning we recognize that whatever the mind says after the question is asked, whatever answer it produces in the form of thoughts, is not what we're actually looking for. That includes conclusions about the self and the practice. So that includes conclusions like, this isn't working for me, this never works for me, I've been doing it for 3 years and nothing's happened, I've been doing it for 20 years and nothing's happened. These are thoughts. They don't refer to anything but themselves, as far as what we're concerned with, which is identity. Identity is not affected by those thoughts. Identity is not touched by those thoughts. It's not moved by any of this. It's far more primary than any conclusion, any reflection on you or your life or this process. Other thoughts that tend to bind us up are thoughts about the practice itself, like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right or wrong. Is it more like this or like that? Ramana said it this way, Angelo said it that way, Adyashanti said it this way, right? These are all thoughts. And these are also often what binds our attention and preserves that conformation of subject-object in consciousness, the thinker and the thought. Now, all of that is fine if it happens, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen repeatedly, but that's not where you're looking. You're looking exactly where that isn't. You're looking for that which is unmoved by those thoughts, untouched by those thoughts, not contingent upon those thoughts. Doesn't come and go, always there, immediately available, not findable because you've never lost it. It's really, really simple. So when the question is asked, and attention moves to that place that you've never left, where no thought is required, no conclusion makes any sense here. You just stay here. If frustration comes, let it go. It's a thought. The physical component of frustration might be there in the body. It's fine. But the term frustration, the self-reflection that I'm having frustration, those are thoughts. If fear comes, same thing. This could kill me. I'm dying. Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. The physical experience, a heart rate coming up, sweating, even shaking sometimes. Those are physical experiences. But the thoughts about them, the identifiers, those are thoughts, and we can let them go. Just remain here. Even anger can come, or rage. Again, a physical experience, a physiologic process. But the term rage, anger, I'm frustrated, I don't get this, I quit, thoughts, 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 thoughts. Am I doing it right or wrong? Thoughts. I'm not sure, is this the right place to look? Is it over here? Is it down here? Back there? Those are thoughts. So, let go of the thoughts. And just don't move from this place. Don't think about it. Don't label it. You don't need to think to confirm this. It's exquisitely simple. That's it.